Have you ever seen a man touch his face, his neck, or fix his hair when he is around you and thought nothing of it? What if that tiny move was not random at all? What if it was one of the clearest signs that he likes you, even before he says a word? Most women miss this because they look for loud signs. They wait for direct words, big moves, perfect timing. But attraction is often much quieter than that. It slips out through the body first. It shows up in the small things. A hand near the collar, fingers brushing the jaw, a quick touch to the lips, a watch being adjusted for no real reason. These little actions may look ordinary, but they often appear when a man suddenly becomes very aware of himself in front of someone he likes. He starts thinking about how he looks, how he sounds, how he is coming across. His body tries to stay calm, but attraction adds nervous energy, and that energy has to go somewhere. So it comes out in motion.
Stay with me, because once you notice this, you will start seeing it everywhere. When a man is drawn to you, he may try to act relaxed, cool, and in control, yet his body often tells the truth before his mouth does. That is why the smartest thing you can do is stop looking only at words and start watching what happens in person. The truth often shows up there first. In the middle of a normal conversation, in a pause after laughter, in one small touch that lasts only a second but says much more than he planned to reveal.
Picture a simple moment. You are sitting across from him at dinner, or maybe standing near him after work, and the mood is light. You say something playful, he smiles. Then his hand rises and touches the side of his neck, the back of it, or the collar near his throat. It seems small, almost nothing, but this gesture can mean a lot. The neck is one of the most sensitive and exposed parts of the body. People often protect it when they feel pressure, stress, or emotional tension. Yet when attraction is present, the neck also becomes an area where nervous energy shows itself fast. A man may rub it lightly, adjust his shirt, or brush near the jawline because his body is reacting to the effect you have on him. He is trying to settle himself without even knowing it. He wants to stay composed, but his heartbeat has changed. His focus has narrowed. He feels your presence more than he wants to admit. That touch becomes a quiet release valve. It can also signal openness.
He is not fully closed off. He is feeling something real enough that his body responds on its own. Now, not every neck touch means romance. Context matters. If he looks tense, distracted, or upset, it may simply be stress. But if that movement appears while he is smiling, holding eye contact, leaning in, or reacting right after you tease him, compliment him, or hold his gaze a little longer, the meaning changes. Then it is no longer just a habit. It becomes part of a pattern, and patterns matter more than single moments. Watch for that, the timing, the warmth, the soft look in his eyes right before or after the touch. That is where the signal gets stronger. Another sign many people miss is what happens around the mouth. A man may touch his lips, brush the edge of his mouth, bite his lip lightly, or hold a cup near his lips a little longer than normal while looking at you. On the surface, it seems harmless, but the mouth is deeply connected to emotion, expression, and closeness. When a person feels attraction, attention often moves toward areas linked with affection and connection, and the lips are one of the strongest examples. So when he touches them in your presence, it can be a quiet clue that he feels more than he is saying. Imagine the two of you laughing over coffee. Not fake laughter, real laughter. The kind that drops his guard for a second. Then the laugh fades, the silence hangs there, and his fingers move to his lips or near them. That moment matters. It often comes when he is no longer thinking so hard about how to appear. His body simply reacts to the pull between you. And here is where it gets even more revealing. If his eyes flick toward your mouth while he touches his own, that can be a strong sign of focus and emotional alignment. His attention is not drifting, it is narrowing. He is tuned in. Again, this is not something to judge from 1 second alone. Some people touch their lips from habit. Some do it when nervous. But when it happens during a warm pause, after eye contact, or in a moment that already feels charged, it usually means more. Keep watching, because these are the quiet moments people cannot easily fake. And those are often the moments that tell you the truth faster than any line or compliment ever could.
Then there is the hair, the jawline, the chin, the whole area that frames his face. This is where attraction often starts looking a little more confident. A man may run his fingers through his hair, smooth the back of it, push it away from his face, touch his jaw, rub his chin, or trace the line near his beard or mouth. If his hair is short, maybe he touches the back of his head or the side of his face instead. These actions can look casual, but they are often a form of display. He is not just fixing himself, he is making himself more visible. It is a human version of wanting to appear at your best when the right person is watching. His body becomes more alert. His posture gets taller. His movements gain purpose. He may not be thinking, "I want her to notice me," yet his body is sending exactly that message. Watch what happens when he does this while smiling at you, holding your gaze, or stepping slightly closer. The signal becomes louder without him speaking at all. This is not always vanity. In fact, it is usually less about ego and more about awareness. You have entered his attention so strongly that he becomes more aware of his own image. He wants to look sharp. He wants to feel put together. He wants to meet your energy well. That is why these gestures often appear suddenly in your presence, but not around everyone else. If he is not interested, his body usually stays neutral. But when he is drawn in, the shift can be quick. He straightens. He adjusts. He touches the parts of himself that project confidence. And if you notice it, do not rush to react. Just let it register. Sometimes the smallest move carries the clearest message. Now pay attention to his hands, because hands rarely stay silent when attraction is real. A man may speak with open palms, rest his hands on the table, touch his wrist, rub his forearm, or run a hand over the veins in his arm while talking with you. These motions are not always random. Hands carry emotional energy. They show openness, restraint, tension, curiosity, and comfort all at once. When a man feels relaxed around you, his hands often become more visible and more natural. He is not hiding them, he is using them. But when attraction enters the picture, that energy can become stronger. If he cannot touch you, he may start touching himself in small, safe ways instead. He adjusts a sleeve. He taps his fingers. He brushes his watch. He traces his wrist. This can be his body's way of managing the spark he feels. Attraction creates pressure. It creates awareness, and that energy often travels through the hands first. You may also notice where those hands settle. If he places a hand on his chest or stomach while speaking, it can feel sincere, grounded, almost protective. If his hand rests near you, on the back of your chair, beside your arm, or close to your space without crossing a line, that can suggest he wants nearness. He wants connection. He is testing closeness without forcing anything. A confident man does not need to invade your space to show interest. Often his body tells the story in a steadier way than bold actions ever could. So look closely. Are his hands closed off and pulled away, or open and gently directed toward you? That difference can tell you a lot about how safe,
interested, and emotionally present he feels in that moment.
There is also a very specific gesture that can reveal intense focus, touching the lower face, the chin, the jaw, the area near the mouth. At first, it may look like he is just thinking, listening, or resting his hand there. But often it means more than that. When a man is deeply drawn into what you are saying and also trying to stay calm, his hand may move to this area as a kind of anchor. He rubs his chin slowly. He lets a finger rest near his lips. He brushes the jawline while looking straight at you. This can happen because he is emotionally engaged and trying to steady the effect you are having on him. He is not distracted. He is locked in. Imagine telling him a story while he listens more quietly than usual. His eyes stay on you. He is not checking the room. He is not reaching for his phone. Then his hand rises and touches his jaw. That may be his body's way of grounding the intensity of the moment. The face is closely tied to emotion and expression. It is where words form, where desire hides, where reactions flash before they are controlled. So when his hand lingers there, it can reveal both restraint and attraction at the same time. If he strokes his chin with a slight head tilt, the energy may feel more confident, observant, even playful. If he brushes his lips or covers part of his mouth softly, it may show vulnerability, like he is feeling more than he expected. And that is why this gesture can be so powerful. It sits right between control and exposure. He is still trying to hold himself together, but his body is already telling you that your presence is affecting him. What makes all of these signs more convincing is repetition. One small touch might mean nothing by itself, but when you see the same man touch his neck, lips, jaw, hair, or hands again and again during key moments with you, it stops looking random. It becomes a pattern, and patterns are where hidden feelings start to show clearly. Maybe every time you hold eye contact a little longer, his fingers go to his collar. Maybe every time you say something teasing, he rubs his jaw and smiles. Maybe after a real laugh, he touches his lips and looks down for a second before meeting your eyes again. These repeated reactions matter because they show that your presence is creating the same effect over and over. His body is trying to manage attention, attraction, and self-awareness in real time. Most people think feelings show up only in words, but the body is usually faster. It reacts before the mind can edit anything. That is why these moments are so revealing. He may believe he is being subtle. He may think he is hiding his interest well, yet his movements keep exposing the truth. And once you start slowing down enough to see it, you will notice how much the body gives away. Here is a quick reminder. Do not overread a single move. Look for clusters. A touch plus eye contact. A neck rub plus a smile. A jaw touch plus leaning in. A lip touch after laughter. The more these signs appear together, the stronger the message becomes. Keep watching, because the next layer is just as important, and it often appears before he even realizes what he is doing. Sometimes, the clearest clue happens the moment you enter the room. Before a full conversation even begins, his posture changes. He stands a little straighter. He fixes his jacket. He smooths his shirt. He touches his hair. His face wakes up. His energy shifts. This is one of the simplest and strongest signs of attraction because it happens so fast. His body reacts to your presence before his words catch up. He may not even know he is doing it, but if you notice that he adjusts himself almost as soon as he sees you, that says a lot. It means your arrival matters to him. He becomes aware. He wants to look right. He wants to be seen well by you.
And once the conversation starts, those same signals often continue. He touches his jaw while listening. He rubs the back of his neck after a playful moment. He brushes his lips when the silence gets warm. Each move acts like a tiny flare going off under the surface. He is tuned in. He is affected. He is trying to stay smooth while his body keeps answering for him. This is why attraction often feels strongest in the small pauses, not the big speeches. It lives in the seconds where instinct slips through, not in perfect lines, not in rehearsed charm, but in the moments where he loses a little control and his body fills in the rest. If you are enjoying this kind of breakdown, keep this in mind, because the next time you are face to face with someone and something feels different in the air, you may finally understand why. The signs were there, just quiet, quick, easy to miss unless you knew where to look. Another layer that many people overlook is mirroring. When two people feel drawn to each other, their bodies often begin to match without planning it. He may lean when you lean, smile when you smile, slow down when you slow down. Even his breathing, tone, or pace may start to move closer to yours. This kind of unconscious matching is powerful because it shows emotional alignment. It is the body saying, "I am with you," without any need for words. Now connect that with self-touch gestures and the signal gets even stronger. For example, if you move your hair away from your face and a few seconds later he touches his jaw or neck, that may not be chance. If you shift closer and he adjusts his posture to face you more directly, that matters. If you speak softly and he lowers his volume too, that matters. Attraction often creates this quiet rhythm between two people, and once it starts, the body keeps feeding it. He may angle himself toward you even when others are talking. He may keep finding reasons to stay nearby. He may touch nearby objects, adjust his sleeve, move his hand closer to your side of the table, or settle into a position that opens him toward you instead of away from you. None of this needs to be dramatic to be meaningful. In fact, the softer it is, the more honest it often feels. Chemistry rarely announces itself with noise. It builds through timing, body position, repeated focus, and those tiny moments where two nervous systems begin responding to each other in sync. That is what makes certain interactions feel electric, even when almost nothing obvious is happening on the surface. There is also something beautiful about the way real attraction looks when it is not forced. It is not always bold. It is not always polished. Many times, it appears as a nervous laugh he tries to hide, a hand to the neck when your eyes meet, a quick fix of the hair when you walk over, a pause before he answers because he suddenly feels too aware of you. These are not performance moves. They happen because his body is having a real response, and that is exactly why they feel so magnetic. You are seeing the part of him that does not know how to pretend. You are seeing instinct step in before image management can catch up. But this is where balance matters. Not every gesture means deep desire. People get tired. People get anxious. People have habits. So never depend on one sign alone. The key is the atmosphere around the sign. Is there shared laughter? Warm eye contact? Comfortable silence? Genuine focus? Repeated orientation toward you? If the answer is yes, then those little touches likely mean more. If the energy feels flat, distant, or distracted, they may not. This is why reading people well is less about hunting for one magic clue and more about feeling the whole pattern. Notice how he looks at you after the gesture. Notice whether he stays present. Notice if he softens around you. Those details matter. Stay to the end of this idea because here is the truth most people miss. Attraction is usually not hidden in the loud parts. It is hidden in the tiny, honest cracks where the body stops pretending and starts speaking for itself.
So the next time you are with him, do not rush to label every move. Do not panic. Do not overthink. Just observe. Watch how his body behaves when you speak. Notice what happens after a joke, after a compliment, after a moment of silence that feels just a little too full. Does his hand rise to his neck? Does he touch his lips and glance back at you? Does he fix his hair, straighten his shoulders, or rest his fingers near his jaw while listening in a way that feels almost too focused? These are the moments that often say the most, not because they are dramatic, but because they are real. They come from the body trying to handle a feeling that words have not caught yet. And when you see several of these signals together, repeated over time, in the right emotional setting, they can reveal a strong and honest attraction. He may not confess it. He may not even fully understand it himself yet, but his body knows. His hands know. His posture knows. The pauses know. That is what makes these signs so powerful. They are not polished speeches. They are silent admissions. Quiet little truths. Once you start noticing them, reading people becomes very different. You stop chasing only what is said and begin paying attention to what is shown. And what is shown is often much harder to fake. That is where the real story lives, in the glance that lingers, in the smile that softens, in the hand that moves without permission from the mind. That is how connection begins, quietly, naturally, in ways so small that most people miss them. Attraction often starts in silence long before it becomes a conversation. It shows up in rhythm, in body language, in awareness, in the tiny ways someone becomes more alive in your presence. A man who likes you may never plan to reveal it so clearly, yet his body keeps sending signs. A touch to the neck when the mood shifts, fingers near the lips after laughter, a hand through the hair when you arrive, the jaw touch during deep attention, open hands, turned shoulders, mirroring, nearness, repeated focus. These are not just random habits when they happen together in the right moments. They are the body translating interest in real time. And the reason they matter is simple. They appear before pride, fear, or overthinking can shut them down. So if you want to understand what is really going on, look beyond the words. Listen to the quiet language. Watch for the soft changes. Feel the atmosphere. Because when someone is genuinely drawn to you, it rarely needs a big speech to be seen. It reveals itself in gestures, pauses, and tiny breaks in control that say more than any perfect sentence could. And once you learn to notice these details, you will never see human connection the same way again. You will start catching the truth in real time, right there in front of you, hidden inside the simplest movements. A look, a breath, a hand that rises for no clear reason at all. And in that moment, without a single direct confession, you will understand exactly what his body has been trying to say all along. I see you. I feel this. And I am more affected by your presence than I want you to know.